The BRSCC BMW Compact Cup is brought to you by Nankang Tyres and Gas Shops.
Welcome to Thruxton for rounds 11 and 12 of the Nankang Tyres BMW Compact Cup. There are only 4 races remaining in this year's championship. 2 here today at Thruxton and 2 at Donington Park. That's only 4 races in which Ian Jones, starting 7th in the first race, and Matt Parks, 6th on the grid, have the opportunity to take the championship away from the reigning champion and pole position man, Stephen Daly. Stephen, only 4 races to go in the championship, but you can wrap up the title this weekend.
Yeah, fortunately we can wrap up the title this weekend. It's a massive honour for the KC Motorsport team this weekend to be in this position, and we're feeling very confident being on pole.
You only need to finish 4th in both the races today. As you say, starting in pole position, that's got to give you a lot of confidence.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to get around the first corner. That's the priority, is just to get off the line, round the first corner, and just hopefully manage a bit from there. I mean, Tom Griffiths is very fast, Ben Huntley is very fast this weekend, so I mean they can mix it right up for me. But hopefully I can just get out in front, manage the lead, and just take it from there.
Brilliant. Well, we wish you all the best out there, Stephen. Thank you very much for your time. We'll let you carry on and get prepared for the start of the race. To take you through the race, it's over to Andy McEwan.
Well, drama already, Lloyd, I'm afraid, with Gordon McMillan looking like he won't be starting from one of his best qualifying positions in 4th place. Stephen Daly will be there, though, on pole position with Tom Griffiths alongside. Ben Huntley on his own on row 2, ahead of David May, and Matt Parks on the 3rd row. Ian Jones, double winner last time out, is down on row 4 with Keith Towers, then Mikey Doble, Mark Skeets, Mike Doble and Wayne Flint on the 6th row. Matt Flowers and Craig Jameson are next, ahead of Ray McDowell and Alan Caulfield, then Tim Scott Andrews and Aaron Morgan on row 9, row 10 for Robert Way and Chris Hack. It's another really busy grid here at Thruxton. Simon Welch, Rudy McMillan, Martin Gadsby and Jim Barrett are towards the back, whilst the back couple of rows are filled with Phil Sharp, Brendan Murphy and Phil Adcock right at the back. Well, Stephen Daly knows what he has to do to try and take the title today. Can he do it? Let's find out. The lights go out, away we go, and Daly makes a good start from pole position. Not a great start from Tom Griffiths from the outside of row 1 though, so Ben Huntley goes up the inside of him and Matt Parks tries to follow him through as well, so Griffiths going backwards slightly as they roll through Allard Corner for the first time up towards the complex, on board with Ian Jones, 3 abreast in front of us as Griffiths comes back at Huntley and Parks around the outside line. That might just work, you know. Tom Griffiths going into 2nd place again, and Ian Jones from 7th on the grid is challenging for a podium position already. I think he's going to be 4th as they go through the middle portion of the complex. That's still a really good start to the race for our double race winner from Alton Park last time out. Out of the complex they go. Aaron Morgan there is running just ahead of Chris Hack and Keith Towers, Tim Scott Andrews, excuse me, that is, as they head now towards the very quick left-hander at Noble. There's Alan Caulfield racing with Matt Flowers, who's inside the top 10 now in the championship. Whilst Ian Jones is side by side with Ben Huntley, and he gets on the dirty side of the road through Goodwood, and Jones is sideways, he's out of line, he could end up losing more ground. There's Mike Doble. Both he and his son Mikey had one of their best qualifying results of the season so far. However, there are problems for Aaron Morgan, who is slowing out at the back of the circuit on the opening lap. Looks like his race is already pretty much done. On board now, though, down towards Church Corner with Simon Welch, one of the fastest corners in British motorsport. It's not a corner where you want to be running onto the grass, but that's exactly what Ian Jones just did. Hopefully he got away with that one. I think he did, but certainly kicked up the dust and lost himself momentum all the way up Woodham Hill towards one of the best overtaking opportunities at the chicane, and lots of drivers towards the front trying to overtake. David May out wide, gets sideways, so too does Wayne Flint. May spins in front of the pack, and collects Wayne as he was gathering his moment up. Keith Towers has to take to the runoff area to avoid it. Mikey Doble, by the looks of it, is in a crumpled mess on the inside of the track as well, so at least 3 cars involved with that, probably all of them out of the race. Look at the state of David May's car. Here's a replay. He locks up and runs wide, gets on the dirty side of the road. Poor old Keith Towers was right in the middle of that, had contact from Wayne Flint, and then as May spun across the track, Flint tried to slow up to avoid him, didn't manage to, and in the process got ran into by Mikey Doble. So there were several accidents going on at the same time there, but look at what it's done to David May's car. It didn't look like that heavy an impact, but that is a very, very crumpled BMW, and that, I'm afraid, is probably the end of his day, let alone the end of his race. David May is furious, is absolutely furious, and perhaps unsurprisingly, with that amount of debris on the track, the red flags have been thrown. So the race is being called to a halt. We didn't complete the first lap though, so we will get a full restart. Now we're up with Keith Towers here, who himself gets sideways, gets a whack from Wayne Flint. How on earth does he miss David May though? That was incredible. David May, as he span across the track, and Keith Towers did well to avoid further contact. Let's try this again then. The race restart here at Thruxton. The red lights go on, and after a long hold, they will go out. We're away in racing once again, with Daly looking to try and replicate his storming start from the first attempt to start the race. We're on board with the lucky Keith Towers, looking to still be there in more or less one piece. Up the hill they go there for the first time. And again, Matt Parks has made a good start. He's gone off with his adversary from earlier on in the season at Snetterton, Stephen Daly. Back on board with Towers, and it's a sea of BMWs in front of us as we hit the brakes down at the complex. Let's hope they all get through safely this time. Well, Ian Jones on the initial start went to the outside of the complex. This time he goes to the inside. It's going to work out equally as fruitful though, or nearly equally as fruitful. He was fourth at this stage of the opening lap last time. He's now fifth, but there's no doubt who's leading. It is the championship leader, Stephen Daly, from Matt Parks in second. Tom Griffiths is third. Ben Huntley is trying to fight them all off in fourth. It was Jones who was right on his boot lid. The race lead, Matt Parks fancies his chances of a second win of the season, and really that is the only acceptable outcome from this race. If Matt Parks wants to keep his slim championship hopes alive, he has to win this race and then hope that something happens to Stephen Daly. As we heard Lloyd documenting pre-race, a pair of top four finishes is all that Stephen needs to wrap up his second consecutive Nankang Tyres BMW Compact Cup Championship. Back on board with Keith Towers through Church Corner. Now on cold tyres through here, you're seeing the cars quite skitterish, lots of them sliding out wide, but not quite as wide as we saw Ian Jones on the first attempt to start the race. We're side by side for second place though, and Tom Griffiths is up the outside of Matt Parks towards the chicane, and Tom Griffiths with the slipstream and I think a superior exit from Church Corner makes that look very easy and goes through into second. Now let's hope we get them all safely through this time. They're a bit less bunched up throughout the order this time around, so we should get them all across the line safely. Simon Welch there, was that diving across his nose and onto the grass. Simon Welch, I think, was wide himself going into the chicane. All the drivers trying to take advantage of that. Stephen Daly at the head of the field, trying to do what Stephen Daly does best, and that's pull away whilst the rest of them are fighting behind. Simon Welch is now overtaken by Chris Hack, so Simon's race not quite going to plan so far. Let's hope he can regroup and work his way back up the order. There are your leaders though. It's Daly from Hunter, from Daly from Griffiths, excuse me, from Parks in third place. Huntley is in fourth position. There is no Owen Hunter this weekend, of course, because he's actually sold his car, and we don't know whether he'll be back this year or maybe next year, but we wish Owen the best, and we hope to have him back in the future, because he really was one of the stars of the show this year on several occasions. A bit unlucky at times, and of course that penalty at Castle Coombe put him out of the championship fight, so he decided to get out early. We may well see him back in the near future. We certainly hope so. Our leaders heading towards Church Corner, and there are several drivers flirting with disaster on the run out of Goodwood there by running out onto the grass. We're on board with Keith Towers again towards Church. Dab on the brakes just to settle the car, but Stephen Daly's car doesn't look that settled. He was very sideways, and Tom Griffiths, who is good through Church, remember he passed Matt Parks at this part of the circuit a lap ago. He's now trying to do the same sort of thing to Stephen Daly. Up the hill they go. Daly will weave to the inside of the road to try and defend, and Griffiths won't really fancy going right round the outside. Oh, Daly's a bit late on the brakes though. He outbrakes himself, runs out too wide, and he'll be really slow off the chicane as a result. Can Tom Griffiths take advantage? Well, he gets sideways as well, and it's actually going to be Matt Parks that could pass the pair of them. Across the start finish line, Matt Parks goes up the middle. Fantastic driving, but Stephen Daly does an equally good job to fend them both off. Parks goes second, then slithers a bit wide, but hangs on to the position. What brilliant racing though, as ever, we're being treated to here by the Compact Cup. They never fail to entertain, and they really have excelled this year as far as the quality of racing is concerned. Through the complex they go then, Daly leading still somehow from Parks now into second place, and well, Tom Griffiths, we're feeling a bit miffed about that, because a few corners ago it looked like he'd set Stephen Daly up perfect to try and make the move, and then out of nowhere Matt Parks arrived on the scene and scuppered his plans. So Parks is now into second position. We all remember with great fondness that race that Stephen Daly and Matt Parks had together at Snetterton earlier on in the season, which yielded Matt's first ever win in the championship. Are we we about to see a resumption of that battle here at Thruxton? I, for one, would be very, very happy to see that. Out of Goodwood they go. Their squabbling is allowing the next 3 cars to close in, though, and on the back of that next train is this man, Keith Towers. And they're sort of working together a bit better with the slipstream, and if they can catch a whiff of a toe up the hill, they'll be right with the leading 3 when they reach the chicane. Again, Tom Griffiths is good through Church, gets up the inside of Matt Parks. That's definitely where Tom Griffiths is excelling at the moment. Each of the 3 times through there so far, he's been able to challenge the car in front, and for the second time this race, he finds a way past Matt Parks and into second position. And as long as he slows the car down for the chicane, which he does, he will now be able to set back off after Stephen Daly again. Remember, Tom Griffiths has never won a round of the Nankang Tyres BMW Compact Cup, and he's racing with the top 2 drivers in the championship as we go on to the final lap of the race now. So can Tom Griffiths do it, or has Stephen Daly built up enough of a margin? I would suggest the latter of those 2 is true. We'll find out. I'm all with Phil Adcock meanwhile as he weaves his way through the chicane now and tries to make a move up towards Allard Corner. With the leading 6, because they are all now pretty much together. And, well, I say they're all pretty much together. Stephen Daly actually looking ever more comfortable at the front of the field now, looking at pulling away from this fight for second. Matt Parks is coming back at Tom Griffiths now as they head up towards Noble. But with the effect of the toe around here, Griffiths can get a really good exit from this corner and a good run through Goodwood. And it seems to be through the high-speed corners where he gains on Stephen Daly. If he can do that again on this lap, then he could get a toe up towards the chicane once more. Let's see. Out of Noble they go, up towards the right-hander at Church, and Griffiths is definitely coming. He's right there. He's more than halved that gap already on this lap. As they go towards Church Corner, the part of the circuit where he has been the strongest, he might just be in a position to make a last-lap challenge for the race lead, and Daly runs out wide as well. That will help Tom Griffiths even more. Daly just about keeps it on the island, and I think we'll get over to defend, but Griffiths goes to the outside anyway. So Tom Griffiths going for the race lead for the final time towards the chicane. They're wheel to wheel, but Tom Griffiths, I think, is going to go through. Yes! Tom Griffiths takes the race lead. Can he stop the car for the chicane? He's sideways, but he gets into the chicane okay, and I think he's going to get off the chicane okay as well. Tom Griffiths, in sensational fashion, is going to win his first ever round of the Nankang Tyres BMW Compact Cup, and he passes the reigning champion on the final corner. Fantastic racing at Thruxton. And what a victory that was for Griffiths. Daly second, Parks in third from Huntley fourth and Jones fifth. Keith Towers was sixth ahead of Mark Skeets, Ray McDowell, Craig Jameson and Matt Flowers in 10th. Then it was Tim Scott Andrews and Robert Way, Chris Hack and Aaron Morgan, while Simon Welch, Jim Barrett, Brendan Murphy, Martin Gadsby, Phil Sharp and Phil Adcock round out the top 20. Then we had Rudy McMillan, Mike Doble, Alan Caulfield, Wayne Flint, David May and Mikey Doble, unfortunately all failing to reach the finish.
Tom, an epic race. You seem to have a really good setup and clinch the victory on the final lap.
Yeah, there's no better way to do it than in the final corner of the last lap, but the car was brilliant. I've got to thank my mum and dad for giving a brilliant car. Made harder by the race being split into 2, so had sort of a 5-minute dash at the end there, but yeah, really tough one, but a great way to win my first one.
Steve, a great getaway from both parts of that race. But just not able to make it stick in the final corner. However, second place, all good for the championship.
Yeah, I mean, the second place is good for the championship. I am disappointed in myself for making a mistake on the last lap, allowing Tom just to sail past with flying colours. I mean, there was nothing I could have done. It was that bad a mistake. I might as well have just waved him past, you know. So all credit to Tom there. Drove a cracking race from start to finish. He was pressure, and he got the mistake in the end, and he done it like a true racing driver should. So, hats off to him.
Matt, third place, tough racing, particularly with the race being split into 2. How difficult is that for you to keep your concentration?
It is very difficult, actually. To be honest with you, just to backpedal to the start of the meeting, we didn't expect to be coming up on the podium today. Tom, Stephen, even David May, Gordon McMillan, they have been so fast. With the testing they've had, didn't expect to be here. So to go through the whole red flag safety car scenario and to keep the concentration and go for it again is just a dream come true really today.
Keith, congratulations on your Masters victory. Tough racing at Thruxton.
Very tough, very tough. It's took me 11 rounds to get to the top step of the Masters. Been a long time coming, and not for the one to try, and so I'm absolutely over the moon. I was hoping it was going to be a good weekend, and here we are.